Now that's why Alexander is the GOAT. You should get some rest now. You've got a long day ahead of you. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy. And don't let the bed bugs bite. Now, I don't have a degree. Here's my take on Roman London. Now, as an armchair historian, I'm here to dig in with you to see if Roman London still exists. I'm also trying not to get my phone stolen, so I've had to go somewhere there's bollards and steps to kind of protect myself and my equipment. Yeah, modern London is a bit interesting with that sometimes. Now, some of you may be like, well, of course London's not Roman. It hasn't been Roman for the past 1600 years. Well, I'm here to show you another side. And also, it depends what you define as Roman. You're talking about bathhouses, imperial palaces, because at some point this was an imperial palace, but also the nightlife, the culture. Does Roman London still exist?
So I'm currently on the M4, which is one of the major roads into modern London. This connects London to the West Country and Wales. It's always lined with beautiful tombs, great buildings like Slough and Swindon and all of these other brilliant towns of modern Britain. Okay, maybe not. You get what I'm trying to say. This is one of the major routes that connects London to the West Country and anything really west of London.
So when it comes to roads, Roman London was never really glamorized for its Roman roads. You know what? It gets a tick, because Slough is quite glamorous. Now, if they didn't take a road into London and they arrived by boat, like some people do, then they'd arrive into this bustling city. Now, on my search to find a good old Londinium bathhouse that's free and it's funded by the state, it's not happening. We're kind of having a bit of a cost of living crisis right now. So yeah, there's plenty of spas and bathhouses, I'm sure, but unless I fancy taking a bit of a bath in the Thames, I'm all right, thank you very much, to be honest. So yeah, believe it or not, modern London is not as generous as Roman London was. Now I'm going to take a look at all of the nightlife, because I already know, yeah, they had Nos Canisters, a Fates Calibis, and just drugs and debauchery anyway. Yeah, maybe not. Minus the drugs and the hallucinogenic. I bet they had debauchery back in the day of London. So I'm going to have a look and I'm going to see what the modern day Colosseum and the entertainment for the masses is.
So today I'm going to see one of the imported talent, modern London, from the States. Of course, Ski Mask. That's a classical talent. I now know what it feels like when a new talent is imported from, the barbaric land. Back then it was Gallia. Gallia is still quite barbaric to this day. I'm going to go have a look, see who's fighting in the modern day amphitheatre.
Now, if you couldn't tell already, it's actually me fighting in the amphitheatre, in a scene that you would think has been pulled straight from Dante's Inferno. And if I unmute the clip now, you'll see what I mean. Now, it was at this point in time that I found out that Londinium do have that nightlife. I proceeded to get moshed and thrown about, so much to the point where I thought I may fall over and die at this point in time, and be a victim to Londinium nightlife. In defiance, I decided to muster up the most manly scream that I could think of in order to show that I'm not going down without a fight. The gladiator, so tired from his fighting, took my phone and then didn't even get me in the frame. But luckily I managed to catch his attention and get to asking him a question. I asked him, what advice would you give Claudius in 43 AD when he marched over to the British Isles and was a part of the founding force that established London as a hub? And this is what he had to say.
Take every opportunity that you can, march your way, it's going to be hard, and just keep going.
Now, I must send a big thanks out to Ski Mask, because I know Claudius would appreciate such kind words.
Now, what about the trading culture of modern London? Back in the day, the Thames was heaving in the 2nd century, with trade goods from all over the Roman Empire coming into London, and it made it one of the most prosperous and richest cities in the Britannia province. I'm going to test that today and see if it's still up to standard. I'm going to try and go into one of the local stalls and try and see if they have some Roman garum. I'm sure they still have that around. There's too many designer shops. I'm still trying to find a local stall that just sells Roman garum. Excuse me, do you know if you sell any Roman garum? Like Roman garum, it's like a fish sauce? Oh, okay. That's fine, thank you. Why don't they have Roman garum? Like, we're meant to be the trade hub here, and we don't have basic necessities like Roman garum. Trade must have slowed down, to be honest. Damn barbarians. Anyway, I'm going to try the Forum. I didn't try the Forum. London's Forum is known in ancient Britannia for being the hub of British commerce. So I'm going to try there. Hopefully I get to catch some religious debates, political debates, all that good stuff, the good old Forum is known for. Let's just hope and see. Now, I would go into Parliament, but I'm not allowed to film in there. But you know what, yeah? I've got the next best thing. The next best thing, what?
Now, before we get to our next location, I decided to take a look at Londinium's modern architecture, and you know what, for that, it definitely gets a tick. Now, where I'm going next is the famed Speaker's Corner, where modern orators get to debate their favourite topics, according to even a local board that they had on display. There's no other forum like it.
France says about Jesus Christ, my Lord and Saviour. Can you that he was a lesser prophet?
Now, I was going to try and see if I can get involved, but it is very busy, and there are some interesting characters here, to say the least, but let's see what we can do.
They are not biblical Jews.
The idea of blaming ethnic Jews.
No.
This is anti-Semitism.
Ashkenazi Jews. The thing about the Ashkenazi Jews, right, I'll say that, they didn't really mean it. It's all been a game.
But with how loud it is here, this is how I imagine the old Roman Forum to be. This loud, but with, I was about to say a lot less crazies, but I don't think, you know, Caligula, the rest of the other bad emperors like Nero, I'm sure they were just as crazy, and they were also shouting like this in the forum at some points in their career. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities here. What do you think the biggest threat to the modern Christian faith is?
The biggest threat to modern Christian.
And to be honest, my ears are starting to pound and fall out of my head because, my God, they go around in circles and circles. I've seen, you know, Bob, some other speakers. I'm going to try and speak to Bob, see if I can get him to come onto the video. It is pretty interesting. With Bob, of course, do you have anything to say to the camera, Bob?
Peace with all the brothers, stand together united against all those that hate the church.
Now, I know that sounds rather crusadey to me, but I promise, within the context of what he was last debating, it's not that crusadey as it sounds. Now, I went home that night chilling, and I didn't hear nothing for a couple of weeks. Until one night, I saw a message pop up in my Discord server, link in the description. I could not believe my eyes. You're moving out of Islam. Well done. Somebody has taken a snapshot of my face in their recording and put me on the thumbnail for clickbait. And the worst part is, as of the recording of this audio, it has gotten 14k views on their YouTube channel. Brother, I'm not even Muslim. I am now a poster child for Brexit and anti-immigration fiends and anti-Islam fiends, and I never expected this to happen. When this happened, you should have seen my face. I wasn't even surprised, but I kind of was. And I know the cameraman behind it. I was speaking to him about why he was there. This is how he's betrayed me. I will find you one day.
So I managed to speak to Bob. No one else really wanted to speak to me, annoyingly so. But yeah, I got to speak to one of the modern day Ciceros, would we like to add, in the forum. So let's move on. So just like that, I managed to speak to some of the orators here at the modern day London Forum. To be honest, it does smell a little bit. It doesn't smell as, I mean, I don't know if the Roman Forum smelled nice either, but it does smell a little bit like BO and aftershave and a mix of that. I don't know how that's possible when you're pretty much in an open field, but it does smell a little bit. So I'm going to pack up my stuff. I'm going to head out that way, straight down to the Roman wall.
Now, another cheeky look at these columns. If you can tell me what these columns are in the comments section, you get some extra points on my behalf.
Okay, so when it comes to the culture and the intellectual culture of modern London, I would say, actually, you know what? Even though it might not be some people's cup of tea, I'd say it actually kind of exceeds that of a Roman London. Roman London, yeah, it had a bunch of, you know, people from Syria, Hadrian's Wall up north, had people from Ethiopia. There's people from all cultures and all faiths here, which I'm like, you know what? It definitely far exceeds that of a Roman London. So when it comes to culture, 100% it gets the tick. It is still here in London to this day. So if you can tell where I am at the moment, you've got the Tower of London there, and you've got the Shard there. So I'm in the City of London today, which the City of London was established by the Romans in their invasion in the 40s AD. But I'm not here for that. Or I'm not here for the Shard either, believe it or not. We're not talking about medieval London, and we are talking about modern London. Our main focus isn't modern London. We're talking about Roman London, and it's just to the left of me there, what I'm looking at. Now, what we're looking at here is a 3rd century Roman wall. I know what you're thinking, right? How does this play in? What even is this? Now, this was built when times were changing in the Roman Empire. If you guys have ever heard of the crisis of the 3rd century, this was built during that time period. And during that time period, the currency was being devalued, migrations were happening, and overall, the people's spirits, to be honest, were quite low. So they built this wall in order to protect their settlements, especially a major trading hub like London was. You can see on the lower levels, the Roman engineering there. Levels of the slat, and then the concrete in the middle, and then the slate tiles again. You go above the slate and you reach medieval era. That's where you see the blocks of medieval London and the refortification of London. But what is the point of this? I've been to Speaker's Corner, I've been to Ski Mask Concert, I've been to so many different things to prove what? London is always changing. This wall, I believe, perfectly represents that, because you can see the Roman era of its origins. London has originated as a Roman settlement, but you can see as times begin to change, as the Saxons come in and the later Normans, you can see how this wall has been added to and adapted for its current circumstances. And that is the City of London. The City of London has faced many migrations, many invasions, and always stood firm and come out of it the metropolis that it is due to its character. And I think that we are quite blessed to have a city like this in the British Isles, really, and to really have this kind of at our fingertips. Listen, I know there's a lot of, there's a lot of non-Londoners, and there's also people who aren't British that may be watching this video. And you know what I would say? It may sound like I'm glazing the place, right? And it might be my southern bias personally, but genuinely, going through this whole process, I've kind of realised that like there's so much. It's a country in its own right. If you look at any statistics for this place, it completely differs from the rest of the UK. And it's really quite weird. I'd encourage anybody, whether you're British or not British, to investigate this place. It is quite an interesting study in and of itself. Now, there's one thing that I can say that modern Londoners can relate to for Roman Londoners. It is a bit grey, isn't it? I want to thank everybody for watching this video. This is the first time I've started up a YouTube channel. I've been saying this for months. My TikTok got banned, and I've been trying to build that up before I release this project. So thank you to everybody in the Discord and everybody who has stuck with me. But if you're not in a Discord yet, make sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description. And yeah, I'll see you a lot later.